YouTube, Saint Riot, back again. I made a new build. It uses a lot of Blackflame stuff, most of the Blackflame stuff, and I made a video going over the build. It's like a real long video, and I ended up being like, it was like 20 minutes or something, you know? So I had all this extra footage from other invasions, and I thought, well, I don't want to make this video 30 minutes long, so I'll, you know, cut it short. And then I decided to take the footage of all these other invasions that I had and throw them on just a different video. And I figured, hey, let's watch these invasions and I'll talk about them. But unlike the other video where I had a general idea of stuff I was going to talk about, this time I don't. And I don't remember anything about these invasions, so I'll be reacting to them, you know, just the same as you guys that are sitting there watching them, because I also have no idea what to expect or what's going on. But this is the build, all the weapons that we're using, everything we're going to be using, and we are level 168. In an attempt to miss a lot of those fog wall invasions that you get from like level 115 to 150, where people are just standing in front of a boss and they just walk into the boss as soon as you invade. We're trying to avoid those. And what happens between 115 and 150 is like that's where people are beating the game. And so they're right in front of Godfrey or Radigan or Moog or Millennia or whoever, and you just get a bunch of those. So just like this one. But see, this fella here, oh look, he's greedy, and he's trying to kill me in my iframes instead of just going and fighting the boss. And it allows us to use the Queen's Blackflame, which is one of the more sick Ashes of War, in my opinion. I love it. I think it's great. It's not, you know, it's not the best, but it's the coolest, you know, and that deserves its own recognition. It's slow, but it has a ton of hyper, which is nice. These invasions in the Spirit Calling Cave, these are always something else. And I'm noticing all the enemies are dead already. So these people were just, I mean, like, everything is dead, right? So if everything is dead, it stands to reason they were just hanging out here, ganking invaders. This is one of those situations where if I kill even just one of these co-opers, it's brutal for them, you know? There was nothing in the level. Look at this, whole dead level. If I was able to beat just one of them, they would have to feel deep shame. The fact that we've beat two, and once you've beaten two, like, you can't lose to this guy. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't. Oh, I didn't talk about that in the last video. How you can just roll out of the Queen's Blackflame Ash of War. You can cancel out of it right at the start. The first time you press L2 or left trigger, you just kind of swing the sword gently from the bottom up to your shoulder. And right after that, you can cancel the attack and just roll out, if you choose to. I do get a ton of Haligtree invasions on this build, which is fine. I like invading in the Haligtree. I like invading in Elphael. This is a great place to invade. The Black Blade on this build, I took to basically kind of draw people towards me. I was hoping, like, the way my spells are set up, it's Black Blade and then Blackflame Ritual. So I use the Black Blade and then I toggle to the Ritual. And what I'm hoping happens is, you know, I use the Black Blade and then they roll or run towards me. And then I use the Ritual and they're kind of stuck inside of it. That's the dream, you know. But it doesn't happen a lot. People are very afraid. But you know, when it does work, it looks great, and it allows me to do all kinds of funky, cool combos. This is a thing I have recently... Do you guys use glowstones? These things rule. I had no idea. I love glowstones now. I didn't even know that, like... I mean, I saw the, you know, the item, glowstones, but I never thought about them or, like, tried to use them. They're like prism stones, except they just drop light. And it rules, because if you are walking around and you have the little lamp on, or you're holding a torch, if you're invading, people can see that. They can see your lamp, they can see your torch. But if you use the glowstones, they're just somewhere where you put them, not necessarily on your person, which is nice. You can put the glowstones one place and put yourself somewhere else. Blackflame Tornado, still absolutely ripping people up if they don't have poise. They nerfed Blackflame Tornado. Justifiably. Blackflame Tornado used to just kill gankers. And then they nerfed... Well, they didn't really nerf it. They just increased everybody's poise and then didn't increase how much poise damage Blackflame Tornado does. And it's one of those things that was always funny to me, because people would say, like, oh, they need to nerf Bloodhound Step. And they would say, not even just for PvP. It makes the game a joke. It makes the game too easy. Blackflame Tornado also makes the game too easy. And I never heard any invaders calling for Blackflame Tornado to get a nerf. But it did. Now you have to have a little bit of poise. But if you have a little bit of poise, you can just get away from it. That's fair. But it's still too good. Like, it will absolutely destroy every boss. And all you have to do is get to Altus Plateau, and then you have it for free after you beat the Godskin Apostle in the Windmill Village. That last invasion, another just standing right in front of a boss at any point, at any time. They could have simply just walked in and fought the boss, but they chose not to. They chose to fight the invader because they probably thought it was an easy win. And then they got eaten alive by a Black Flame Blade buffed straight sword. And that feels good. We're using the Ballista on this build because I don't have a lot of strength. Just 20 strength to use this weapon, God Slayer's greatsword. So I've got plenty of dex though. So Ballista fits nicely on the build. And it's basically, you know, I talk about it all the time, but it's essentially just like the you have to move now weapon. And you can't put a price on that. That's such a good thing to have. I love it. I can't believe he got away. Sad. In the process of getting away, though, I guess he did piss off the Flame Monk, which is nice. There's Black Blade. I was hoping maybe we would be able to Black Blade into Black Flame Ritual there. This is just too chaotic at this point. The Fire Monk just absolutely taking that Madness spell and protecting me from it. I never get tired of seeing that. Look at all the Hyper Armor. The Hyper Armor never ends. It does, actually. A jump attack will interrupt. Interestingly, another thing you can do is you can block the initial hit and then guard counter, And that also has enough poise damage to interrupt the Ash of War on the Godslayer. This poor dude. It's always like when you do invasions and it's like 3 versus 1, it's always very, very hard until it's not 3 versus 1 anymore. If the enemies get involved, you know what I mean? It's 3v1, then enemies get involved, and it goes from being very hard for the invader to win to very hard for the host to win. Poor guy. Great invasion though. A lot of fun. Anyway, that's been the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Later, y'all.